In this lesson, we are going to look at order of operations with powers. Now, you have done order of operations in previous math classes, but you may not have looked at the exponent part. So order of operations, probably you've heard of BEDMAS or PEMDAS, depending upon what teacher you had. The same thing. B stands for brackets, and this is the first thing you ever look to solve for. You look to see if there are brackets in the expression or the equation, and you simplify what is in the brackets first, if at all possible. The next thing you look for is, are there any exponents that can be completed and evaluated? Then we look at division and multiplication, and you work from left to right. So you could do multiplication before division, if it comes first when you're going left to right. And then we do addition and subtraction. And again, it doesn't matter which one gets done first. Typically, if you work from left to right, that is the process that will work. The reason we have BEDMAS is so that everyone follows the same sequence of steps to get one correct answer. So let's evaluate the following here. The first one is 3 cubed plus 2 cubed. So if we're going through BEDMAS, we start with B. There are no brackets. Next we do E as exponents. We do have some exponents, so let's evaluate. 3 to the exponent 3 means 3 times 3 times 3, which is 27. 2 to the exponent 3 means 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. All we have left is one operation, which is addition, so we add it up and we get 35. If we look at the second one, we have 3 minus 2 to the exponent 3. So again, go through BEDMAS. B is for brackets. There are no brackets. E is for exponents. There is an exponent, so we need to evaluate that first. So this stays a 3 minus 2 to the exponent 3. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. There is only one operation left. 3 subtract 8 is negative 5. Look at the last one here. 3 plus 2 inside brackets to the exponent 3. So if we're going through BEDMAS, B is brackets. We have brackets. So we need to simplify what is in the brackets if at all possible. We can do that. 3 plus 2 is 5. Now we just have one operation left and it's exponents. 5 to the exponent 3 is 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. So, ones that are a little bit more complicated here. If we look at the first one, we have 2 times negative 3 to the exponent 3 minus 6, all within brackets, squared. So, going through order of operations, brackets first. Well, if you look at this one, we have 2 sets of brackets. We've got the rounded brackets and the square brackets. When that happens and they're inside of one another, you simplify the innermost one first. So what we need to do is we need to determine what negative 3 to the exponent 3 is. Negative 3 is inside of the bracket. The exponent 3 is outside of the bracket. So that tells us that the negative is a part of the base. Therefore, it's negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, which will give us negative 27. And I'm going to leave it inside a bracket so that we know that the negative is not a subtract sign. It is a negative 27. Minus 6, all to the exponent 2. Now, we want to simplify what's inside the square brackets. We have an operation of multiplication, and we have an operation of subtraction. If you use BEDMAS, multiplication comes before subtraction. So we need to do 2 times negative 27, and we will end up with negative 54. And then we are going to subtract 6. Negative 54 subtract 6 is negative 60. That negative sign is inside the brackets. The exponent 2 is outside the brackets. So that tells us that the negative is a part of the base. So it's negative 60 times negative 60 is 3,600. If we look at example B, again, we have brackets. We have a rounded set of brackets here, and another rounded set of brackets here. They are not inside of each other. They are two separate brackets, so we can try and simplify each of those at the same time. If we look inside the first bracket, we have an 18 squared plus 5 to the exponent 0. So we need to evaluate those exponents. And 18 to the exponent squared is 18 times 18, which is 324. 5 to the exponent 0, remember anything to the exponent 0 is just 1. Negative 5 to the exponent 3. That negative is inside the bracket, the exponent is outside the bracket, so that negative is a part of the base. So it's negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5, which is negative 125. The left-hand bracket can still be simplified. We have not completed that one yet. So 324 plus 1 is 325. What we have left is we have an exponent of 2 and we have a division. If you think about BEDMAS, exponents come first. So we need to find 325 squared is 105,625 divided by negative 125. So now we divide it, and our answer is negative 845. So order of operations, BEDMAS, tells you what order to perform each step so that you get the one correct answer. Lynn has a square swimming pool, 2 meters deep with side length 4 meters. The swimming pool is joined to a circular hot tub, 1 meter deep with diameter 2 meters. Lynn adds 690 grams of chlorine to the pool and hot tub each week. This expression represents how much chlorine is present per 1 meter cube of water. So we have an expression there. The suggested concentration of chlorine is 20 grams per meter squared of water. What is the concentration of chlorine in Lynn's pool and hot tub, and is it close to the suggested concentration? So in order to figure that out, we have to simplify her expression. Now, one of the things to keep in mind, when it's in fraction form, so when you have a fraction bar, that fraction bar indicates division. It's 690 divided by everything that's in the denominator. However, that division follows a different rule in BEDMAS. That division is actually done last. What we need to do is we need to put brackets around the numerator and around the denominator so that they get simplified first and then they get divided. So what we actually have here, if we write it out a different way, we have 690 divided by 2 times 4 squared plus pi times 1 cubed. All of that needs to be in brackets. We need to simplify it first. So if we're simplifying what's in that bracket, we have multiplication, exponents, addition, another multiplication, another exponent. Brackets, then exponents. So the exponents need to be simplified next, and because they're separate from each other, we can do it at the same time. 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. Pi is 3.14, so we can change that now if you'd like. And 1 to the exponent 3 is just 1. It's 1 times 1 times 1. Now within the brackets, we have some multiplication and we have some addition. Order of operations says do the multiplication first. Since the two multiplications are separate here, they're separated by an addition sign, we can do them at the same time. 2 times 16 is 32, plus 3.14 times 1 is just 3.14. So we get 690 divided by, we can now add this, 35.14. And now we can do our division. And we get 19.6, and this would be in grams per meters cubed. So is she close to the recommended amount? Yes. 19.6 is very close to 20. So when you have a fraction, that means dividing But you must simplify up the numerator and you must simplify up the denominator before you do the division.